Hello everyone. Welcome back. It's another week. How's it going? How are you all doing out there today, my fellow ogre fans? I assume, maybe. You might not be ogre fans. It's okay if you're not. I'm a big fan of ogres. It's one of those. It's one of those rare occurrences with with an army where you can probably just have like one of everything and you'll still be good, and you only need one of everything because the points are so massive on all of them. It's really fun. But yeah, how's it going? We're hanging out. We're going to be painting up. We're making some progress today on the Maulbeast Cavalry. They're coming along. That's what the intention is today. And we're going to hang out. Chat about things, I guess. Do what we normally do. All that good stuff. What have you guys been up to in the last week? I was head down trying to paint all of this stuff. How come there aren't dwarf ogres? I don't know. First time messaging, hope to message more in future. Love to see it, Stephen. Thank you very much for messaging. Good evening, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. So yeah, we're going to be doing some work on this guy and the other one. Let me just pop across to that camera. There we go. So this is where we're at. So the Maulbeast itself is actually done. It's mostly, well, the things that are left to go on it are this amount of things in terms of getting it battle ready. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 steps left to go. And then there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9... 12, 14, 15 sort of highlight things, more or less, I think. But a number of them are dry brushes and things as well. It's how we speed things up around on something like this. So that's what we're going to do very shortly. But yeah. Painted the Armageddon war boss, but more Death Scully, and couldn't manage to check us, so went with triangles. Triangles is always good. Mostly I've been working on Bushido. Are you practicing the art of Bushido, or is that something that I'm not familiar with? Also, hello, Captain Manrings. I just wanted to see what this one said. No, not that one. It is this one. Yeah, 2 to 1. Cool. Yeah. I'm prepared. I know what I'm doing. Makes a change. Victory Spirit, thank you very much for being a member for 29 months. I'm doing a lot of building, too hot to paint. Yeah, I agree. It is cooled off to the point where I can paint, but it's still really hard to do it. So it's just one of those things where I've just had to just get on with it, because I wanted to make sure that we had the ogre videos, got the ogre videos going, because I did the building and I really liked the building and I loved the models. I loved the models a lot, so I was like, well, I really want to paint these, so I might as well just power through. But it has continued to be an issue doing this week. Skirmish game on 2 foot square board is cool. We demoed it at UK Games Expo, but we already loved the minis. Nice. I'll investigate then. That sounds like that's a recommendation that I like, that I respect. I'm going to quickly do a layer on these guys. Get this party started, shall we? And then next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 2 parts Gilliman flesh to 1 part Lamian medium mix, and we're going to apply this over top of all of our ogre's skin. I bet you can't guess where it's set. Croydon. Why not? Did I miss anything? Nope. Nope. You're here just in time for me to apply the first of the paints. Well, I mean, technically you've all missed quite a lot because I've painted quite a lot of these miniatures already. But it's all going to come out in a video very soon, so you won't miss out on anything, to be honest. I've got to get these guys done. I've got to get these guys done today, really. I'm eagerly awaiting the arrival of the Riders of Rohan, because I've got an Ardacon list I need to build and paint. I've got very little time to do it now, and I've got like 18 of them to do, something like that. It's a lot of riders. Close. I see. So it's actually set in Epsom. So we get that on. Yeah, I've had if you're on the fence about buying these, I've had such a blast painting them. It has been really warm here still. It's been less warm, like by sort of 2 or 3 degrees. It's not a huge amount, but it's enough to be up here, you know, and still going. It does make doing things like sort of blending and stuff tricky, and I'm pretty sure I've ruined a bunch of paints by having actually done it. But so that's going to be an expensive thing to replace. But we just keep going. But I love the models so much that it's been worth it. Like, it's just like, I'm just going to work at these. And like I said in the video before on the sprue review, I didn't expect to love these as much as I do, but building them was fantastic. They were so much fun to build. And then when I learned that they'd actually dropped the points already, because my comment section let me know. So thank you to those who commented, letting me know that they'd dropped the points. This army set is like 1,030 points, which is crazy good. So if you bought 2, you've got a 2,000 point army. But yeah, I'm super pumped for them. It's one of the very, very rare occurrences where, if I'm lucky enough that Games Workshop decides to send me the rest of the range, I will have a 2,000 point playable army, which is just fantastic. That's great. It doesn't always it doesn't shake out that way a lot of the time. You know, you end up with a sort of situation where, you know, I have all of these sort of in progress army projects because we've got one of everything. But to make them work on the tabletop, we need to do some duplication. But because I've already done the video, there's no way to monetize it. So I need to have time. I need to have time or an idea in order to be able to justify painting, let's say, like for my Ultramarines, I need to get 12 more Victrix Honor Guard. So I need to find a way to turn that into a video, but we've already done Victrix Honor Guard here on the channel, so it's like, you know. I am just, however, patiently waiting to see what comes out with the rest of 11th edition Space Marine releases. Hopefully there'll be some cool stuff in there. So the Gilliman Flesh is now on. So that's step number 1. All good to go. So next up, we are going to then use a paint that I've already used a couple of times in this. I kind of expect you to hate these, to be honest. See, I was the same. We're getting the Tyrant tutorial soon. You'll be getting tutorial for all of this. You didn't let me know. You're a cruel painting god, Josh. I am not. I am a benevolent ruler. Yeah, we've got never seen Josh with unhappy face. No, I try not to bring forth unhappiness onto the channel. We try to keep things happy. Sometimes I get a little down, but you know. With our Gilliman Flesh all applied, we then take some wildwood and we apply this over the top of this couple of little bits of wood that are sort of hanging out around here. So we've got this sort of bit here on the boss pole at the back, and we've got little bits of wood here and there on their weapons as well. We did it! Wow! Woohoo! Wee! Yeah! Right, got a little bit more wood to apply. Ooh. And then I shall catch up with the chat. Hold on, just wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Name is long enough to be annoying. With a 50 bomb? Sir. 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 What are you doing? Thank you so much. That's unbelievable. Nothing to see here. Fireworks factory blowing up behind me as I wave Josh away. No. Thank you so much, buddy. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Unbelievable. It's a bribe for Eisen and Easterlings, obviously. Well, I didn't think you were paying for the dentist. You know, I had, I was going to message you. I had to go to the dentist today. I was just having a checkup. I wasn't having any sort of emergency work doing, but I had to go to I had to go and do I had to go to my I had to go and have my medieval torture done to me. Today, which was fun. Well, it wasn't fun. As you all know, I am an extremely nervous patient at the dentist. So, yeah, it's always like a, oh god, please don't tell me everything's awful. I gotta, nothing's changed, you're all good, see you in 6 months. And I was like, well, maybe you'll see me in 6 months, because we're trying to move house. So, once we've done that, we'll book something in, but I don't want to book something in now, and then it turns out we're... moving day is the same day as go and have... Gotta go and have a checkup. You know? I have my regular dental checkup on Thursday. You don't mind the dentist, do you? Name is long enough to be annoying. Apart from the bill, obviously. Yeah, the bill's always rough. It's an absolute racket. Is what it is. I'm convinced. There's a amusing Mitchell and Webb skit about purchasing toothbrushes that always has summed up how I feel about the dentist with the... We can get people to brush their tongues. Does that do anything? No. But we can get them to do it. More of a racket even than GW. Well, exactly. I mean... I need my teeth to do things. I don't need models, you know. You want to know the really interesting thing? I was thinking about this the other day. If you change the way you talk about your army and your collection of Warhammer, if you just change one simple word, this hobby becomes a lot cheaper, and it really does. And I've realized that I've changed this, and I realized that it's what I talk about when I go. And I did it earlier. I said I need, but my point is if you change the word need to want, your attitude starts to shift. So I think that about my Stormcast prosecutors list has always been I want to run 30 prosecutors, not I need to buy 18. I need to buy 18 prosecutors. I don't need to buy 18 prosecutors. I want to buy 18 prosecutors, but I don't need to. But I have actually bought some of the magazines because they were really cheap. The magazines had prosecutors in. I bought 4 of those, so I am closer. But in that regards, like I do still buy a fair chunk of Warhammer these days, and obviously like brushes and paints and things like that. I'm buying that all the time, but I don't buy as much anymore because it's always a want for me. It's not a need. You see what I mean? Try it. It's a slight mind shift change. Warriors of Chaos got me looking at Old World like it's forbidden fruit. Nice. They are very pretty. We are going to go back to them. I need to get through these. But we are going to go back to the Warriors of Chaos. I really want to get them done. I've still got the Aspiring Champion on Horse video to put out. But I needed to want my Eisen and Easterlings. That's fair. Right, we need to do some red next. And so with that all done, we are now going to take some Flesh Tearers red. And we're going to apply this over top of the grips of the weapons, and we're going to apply this over top of the reins as well. And we're back in the room. I hope to see if GW bring out new Ravenwing releases. Here's the thing that should give you a little bit of extra hope that is a thing that will happen. Is they have previewed the multi-part Outriders. Now, if there's a multi-part kit, that means that it's a little bit easier for them to create an upgrade kit that would make Ravenwing stuff. We've also seen a land speeder, obviously. So maybe there's new land speeders in the future for Dark Angels fans. I think you've got a pretty decent shout this edition of seeing some Ravenwing stuff come for the Dark Angels. I personally think that, like, this, I think contextually, right, the 10th edition, like, multi-part release of Space Marines was quite quiet, really, on the whole. And I think that then corrected itself, really, because of Space Wolves and Blood Angels and various other Space Marines and things came out later. So I think if you see that the mainline Space Marine release that should be happening in the next month or two is quite quiet, I would reasonably suggest that your chapter specific stuff will be much more expansive, in a similar vein to 10th editions was. If the next release of Space Marines is quite massive, like there's lots of kits, like post Indomitus, right, when they were like, have all these gladiators and storm speeders and all this other stuff as well, I would reasonably guess that most of, like, the Divergent chapters are just going to get, like, a character. So in that instance, you can probably pretty much, like, guess that, like, Blood Angels are going to get Corbulo and Dark Angels will get Ezekiel and so on and so forth. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because there is really not a huge amount of things left on the we're going to redo this train for Space Marines. There's quite a few more bits for Orcs to predict, but there's really not a lot left for Space Marines, and most of it is like the Rhino, the Razorback, the Land Raider, the Predator, the Vindicator, and so on and so forth. So you might finally start seeing them do new stuff again, or 12th edition is just going to be, right, We're redoing Hellblasters. And Inceptors. This is what you guys want, right? But we shall see. I got myself a Logan Grimnar because I needed to want him. Or I wanted to need him. That's fair. No hopes for City of Ash terrain, right? No, it again. Tell me when I have the time, I will do it. But I don't have the time, so I can't do it. I want to do it for me. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just I haven't had the time. Hi Josh, which models do you prefer, the AOS or Old World Chaos Warriors? I'm currently using the AOS one for my Old World army and deciding whether to get the new ones or not. Oh, that's a good question. I think for Old World, the new ones are spectacular. They are very Old World coded in the sense that they don't have like kind of as much of the like rounded edges. Is like AOS has got a bit more of a sort of softer nature to it, because it just does, right? It's not meant to sort of have that sort of more grounded approach that Old World has. But I think, like, if you need more Chaos Warriors, I wouldn't say go and replace your Chaos Warriors. I'd say if you need more Chaos Warriors, get some of the new ones, because they're just, A, they're designed to be on square bases, B, they're very, 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 very pretty. C, they go together really nicely. Yeah, you'll just have a nice time painting them, you know? Once known as the ancient Keith story, I lost my account on Caradras and I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. Welcome back, Keith. I'm not doing it without your tutorial. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, look, the City of Ash terrain, you can... I'm not going to do anything different than what I've already done in all of the other Cities of Sigmar stuff. But if you want to wait for the tutorial, that's fine. It's just I simply don't have the time to do it at the moment. Like, it's a whole... My painting time is incredibly limited by the heat. And what little painting time I do have is doing stuff that is the newer stuff, of course, naturally. We just haven't had a break. We haven't had a break in, like, I haven't had a free week in ages. It's been a long time. It's not since before Armageddon, and even then I was already working on Armageddon, you know. So yeah, I'll get to the terrain eventually. But if you want to get it done sooner, honestly, like, the answer to how to paint them is in Gate Gargants, Cogfort, Cannon. The answer's there. Bet you were looking forward to painting the new dragon. Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to paint that new dragon. Hopefully, though, it's not coming out anytime soon, so that I can paint it and not have to try and do it in this heat, because it's going to be awful. Good evening, Chris. When the bigger orc release comes, could you do a potential vehicle or even bike in Death Skull's colors? We'll see. We'll see what the vibes are. We'll see what's coming. Bikes are probably going to be Evil Sons because I want to have an Evil Sons bike army. And just having one dude in blue isn't gonna make me having an army any closer. Remember, guys, I want to build and I want to play this game. But we'll see. We'll see what the big release comes along. The Sky Lantern is the perfect small project for the weather, Josh. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. That sounds good. No is the answer. I wanted to ask something. What is better as base, Grey Seer Can or White Scars? I want to make White Scars. Well, I use White Scars because it's brighter, so you've got more headroom to come down. Grey Seer is darker, so you have to come up. So you want them to be bright white. If you prime them Grey Seer and then you apply a shade over the top of it, you've got more. Your Corax White has to do more work to come up. If you prime them in White Scar, your Corax White has to do less work to come down to the right color. So that's why I prefer White Scar for White Scars. Let's be honest, you will still be painting in your free week. Oh yeah, no, when I have a free week, it's not a free week off, it's a week of catching up on things. It's a week of doing all the stuff that is just mounting in the backlog. Like I've got a couple of character models to do for a couple of Patreons, you know, that kind of thing. So that's priority number one. And then I've got things like Maggot Kenem Nurgle from the beginning of this year, Chaos Warriors, obviously something that I need to catch up on. Isengard and the Easterlings as well. What else is there? I've got lots of stuff. There's so many orcs as well to do. Good lord. Does the old world is similar to AOS rule wise? No. Very different. Very different. Heard it will be a late August release, so you have some time. You don't like the heat, try working in a boiling hot kitchen when it's 36 degrees outside. Love the content, mate. Oh, I remember it well. I did work in a kitchen as a teenager, and it was awful. I did a summer in a fish restaurant. It was gross. It was quite enough for me, thank you. I like how you did the apothecary biologist. Well, I mean, go for the apothecary biologist then. I do different recipes of things to give you guys different options for doing things. It's not that like I have a preferred, like it's not like I change the recipe because this is now the way to do it. It's just an alternative way of doing it. So like for all of the orc videos that we've done so far, those are alternative orc skin recipes that are in those orc character videos. It's not that one is my favorite or one is better or one is worse. It's just that here is an alternative way to doing it. I try and give as many like tools as I possibly can on the channel. That's perhaps not made clear enough at times, but yeah, no, it's the whole point is to try and just give you guys some more weapons for your arsenal, as you were. Glorfindel will do. We've done Glorfindel. Glorfindel has a video. Did you see the new Nazdrag model? I did indeed. He looks fantastic. Just finally able to chat another stream. I hope you are well. Hello, Mini Creative. With the bad moves like the new Nazdrag, how would you paint those blue pants? I mix Leviathan blue and Abaddon black. Ultramarines blue is often quite good just for a cold blue, just on its own. I mean, I often use use Ultramarines blue as the second layer over something to bring down, like, to Ultramarines armor, for example. But Ultramarines blue on its own is just quite a cold, unforgiving blue anyway, so it often works very well just on its own over the top of your base primer. Is how I would usually do it. Andy, thank you very much for the smiley face being sick, I think. Thank you very much. And then if you need to bring, like, that Ultramarines blue down a little bit, you can then put some Null Oil over it. Or Drakenhof Nightshade, depending if you want to move it blue or to coal black. That's another option. What is that little detail there? Warhammer Communitar. Ogres. Ogres, ogres, ogres. Give it to me. Is it a wee little trinket? It is a wee little trinket. There's not a lot of varied metallics on these guys at times, which is quite nice, really. I am pretty sure, though, we are now at the stage where it's just a case of we have to just apply an ungodly amount of Iron Warriors over the top of the rest of the remaining details, which is fine, I guess. This is an example of a paint that I've absolutely screwed. Yeah, no, that's definitely gone. Right. Where's my backup? Which means we need to buy another one. Best elf in the lore. He is. He is. Certainly the most... the scariest elf. Boop. Okie dokie. Right, we are into Metallic Town. Let's go! Let's do it! Bow! And so with that all done, it is now time to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over, well, pretty much all of the remaining details on the model. Now, there is a couple of little trinkets scattered around. For example, there's one just here, underneath the... There we go. That one there. We're actually going to be doing that as a different colour. And indeed, we actually do have two different silvers that are going to be happening on here. But for now, we just need to get this Iron Warriors over top of everywhere that is going to be silver before we bring the colour down in just a moment. We did it! Let's go! Woohoo! Watching you paint the Rohan models makes me want to start Lord of the Rings army of them. Look, I think if as things stand at the moment, if you're going to get into Lord of the Rings, Rohan is an extremely good way of doing it, given as almost all of it is new. There's only a couple of things that aren't new and in plastic. That would be the Royal Guard and Gamling and Hammer There's a couple of characters who are, aside from them, that are from Forge World. So like Elfhelm and Deowine. They are also in Forge World resin. But you do have an access to a huge amount of very pretty modern plastic models now in Rohan. Hill Tribesmen are probably a close second because of how much they've had. My hope is that we are going to see the Uruk-hai get some more plastic stuff. Or at least some plastic redos, because it kind of just makes sense. To do that, because of all the Rohan stuff. And I know the Rohan stuff was done because of War of the Rohirrim, the animated movie, but I think if I was Games Workshop, I would look at redoing the Uruk-hai Scouts, and the Uruk-hai Command, and the Berserkers, and the Ballista. And the ladder, why not? That's what I would do. And crossbows, yep, yeah, and crossbows, yeah. I think what I would like them to do is I would like them to make a box of 24 Uruk-hai instead of 20. That has... as it does for almost everybody else, 8 crossbows, 8 sword and board, and 8 pikes. That's how it is for almost everybody else. And indeed, that's how it is if you buy... I mean, you don't get the pikes, but you do get... you get 8 scouts with bows, 8 scouts with just a sword, and 8 scouts with sword and board as well. In the Uruk-hai Scouts, you don't just get 20 models there, you get 24. So yeah, that is something I would like to see. And alerts. Yes, that's true. Boo 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 boo. Bow, bow, bow. Now the thing I must warn you, ladies and gentlemen, when you are painting your ogres, if you are buying ogres, is you'll look at them and you'll think, wow, that's a lot of skin, you know. But actually, there isn't that much skin in comparison to the amount of metallics that there are on there, which is surprising when you're doing it. You'll be like, God, this feels stressful. I'm just doing so many metallics. But these aren't a majority metallic model. No, they are in fact quite heavy on the old metallics, the ogres. So just as a word of warning, word to the wise. Because it will surprise you. It surprised me. Especially when I did 5 gluttons. Video coming soon. Boo, boo, boo. If you haven't already, chat, please do leave a like on the stream. Where are we at to? We're on 33 likes. If we can get to 50 likes, that would be fantastic. Helps more people find the channel. Helps extend our reach. And to quote Theoden, Saruman's arm will have grown long indeed if he thinks he can reach us here. Now, thankfully, the other Maulbeast Cavalry doesn't have quite as much metal on it as this one does. Because this one's got those kind of 2 extra flanking plates that the other one doesn't have, because you only get 1 set of those. I left a like and 50 subs. If I like again, it takes 1 away. Oh no, you don't need to. Oh my goodness me, I didn't update that. So sorry. That is me not paying attention at all. That is my bad. We are on 50 of 50 on the YouTube members. Thank you so much. That's my bad. Are all no Ogre same size or characters are bigger? They're pretty much the same size, I think. All bribes transfer to Eastlings only. Yeah, no, I would assume that. Since it will take them 9 months from announcing to releasing. Yeah, it took very long time for the Riders of Rohan to arrive. That's probably how Denethor felt. Good evening, Dr. Steve. I should update my models painted as well, actually. Guys, it's really hot up here. Give me a break. You're forgetting, I am not actually very good at streaming. And I'm so out of practice because we've had so much time off. Involuntary time off that I keep forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing. Roll on the winter. Where we shan't miss a single stream unless I'm very ill. Because I'll be back to my most productive ways. Hello, Swennels. I haven't seen you live in ages. Been a busy summer. Indeed it has. Well, you're here now. I'm live. And you're alive. And that's what matters. Hope it's not been too awful your summer. Bet you wish we had funded the leather shorts calendar so you would have those for the heat. I think if I'd been wearing leather shorts all summer, I would be very, very unhappy person right now. What is Maulbeast Cavalry? Maulbeast Cavalry is the new Ogre's Cavalry that we are currently applying a horrible amount of Iron Warriors to. Because they have a truly shocking amount of metallic details for half-naked ogres. This is where we've got to. See what I mean? Maximum chafe. Yeah, exactly. Nobody needs that in their life whilst they're painting. Don't move. Why you have so much silver? We're getting there. What is a Maulbeast? Just a big thing he's riding, I guess. A beast designed for mauling. A very angry thing. They have one of my favourite rules ever, the Maulbeast Cavalry. Enemy units do not count as having charged when in combat with Maulbeast Cavalry. Which I just love. I think that's fantastic. It makes them really, really mean against other cavalry. Because a lot of other cavalry has like charge +1 damage. Whereas these guys just go, no. Doesn't count. Not allowed. It's nice. It's a nice little rule. Be interesting to know though if that then means that you could tactically charge into these guys to get your I didn't charge buff. See what I mean? I don't know if that, maybe that needs to be FAQ, but it does mean that could be a potential sort of tactical thing with them, is that if you charge something, say you've got something like if you didn't charge with this unit you get X. If these guys turn off the charge, you don't count as having charged. Presumably you get that benefit back, which is, you know, maybe, I don't know, that might need to be FAQ'd, but that is a potential counterplay for them. Not that those abilities are often particularly powerful, but yeah, that might be a thing. Will you be painting Caiaphas Cain? Maybe. I've got him. He's here. He's built. He's primed. Again, just as always. I am but one man who never has enough time to do everything he wants to do. So we'll have to wait and see if some time opens up. Star Pilot, thank you very much for being a member. For 30 months, hello, Mr. Warhipster, long time no see. How are you? Say, in your opinion, how friendly are the new ogre models to paint? Picked up the box for D&D, but struggle with painting motivation. I think they're pretty easy to paint, honestly. I mean, these ones are time-consuming, but, like, I think they've been pretty easy to paint. I've got the, I've got a bunch of videos coming out, so, of course, you'll be able to make a determination as well, but I've really enjoyed them. They are big, and because they are big, it means they're easy to kind of get your brush around. So in that regard, they become a little bit easier than something that's like slightly smaller. They're not like hunched over like for example an orc. But like the thing that's nice about them as well is in the difference between these and the older ones. The older ones are much more cramped because they were designed for the old world. So everything's got like its arms directly at its sides. These guys are a lot more open. So as a consequence of that, it makes them just that a little bit easier again to paint, which is nice. Nearly there. But thank you very much for the 30 months. Do you like the new Orc War Boss? Nazdreg? Yeah, I do. I like him a lot. I would like to see how big he is. He might be just shy of a Gazkul, which would be really cool, if that's the case. I've been thinking about redoing my Gazkul video. Again, time dependent, but it kind of like I don't know what's coming in the Orc release, so I don't know how big and expansive it is. And part of me is like, should I just like buy a second Gazkul to do a Gazkul revisited video? Because we did him a long time ago. We did him when I still lived in Croydon, I think. Or it might have been when I was back at my parents'. I can't remember. I think he's a Croydon model. But yeah, that's if the Orc release that's coming is the truck, the boys, Nazdreg, and I don't know, some knobs, and that's it, then we might look at doing a second version of Gazcol. But if the Orc release is like 10 or 15 things, and this again, this is all on the proviso that Games Workshop decides to send it to me. They might not, of course. That is always a possibility. Then, yeah, we'll maybe look at doing it, but we will see. I am at the mercy of time, as ever. Nearly there. I would love to see him redone. Prepare the Black Legion. And this time around, we would obviously do Makari as well. Because we didn't do Makari in the last time. That's one of those things, though, where, like, I'd probably want to redo Ragnar as well. Because they came out in the same box. At the same time. Nearly there. On one of these Maulbeast Cavalry, there is another one to do. Buh. Yes. It is the never-ending battle of content production. It will never truly be over. And the secret to being able to produce more content is to have more people producing content. And the secret to having more people producing content is having more content. You know? So it's just a self-perpetuating cycle. Hello, the Death Guard Tyrant. Right, so... one down. One more to go. A little bit less metal this time round, but still quite a lot. Hello, Mr. the Godkin. Those look as big as the Auric Big Pigs. They're not as big as that, but they are as probably as big, if not bigger, than... it's probably actually a similar size. They're probably a similar size to the kill boss on Great Nashtooth, I would say. That's probably the closest closest comparison. They are certainly very, very large. There you go. Are those ruby brushes similar quality to Artis Opus? Can you compare them? How? I can't compare them fairly. I have one raggedy Artis Opus size 000, and I have this ruby brush angel here. So it's not a fair comparison on either of them, to be honest. But yeah, I think they're very, very high quality. I think they're very, very, very good brushes. I really love using these. I need to start using the Squidmar brushes. I keep forgetting to do it, and then I keep remembering halfway through something, and I'm like, I don't want to get like halfway through an ogre more tribes army set, for example, and then be like, all right, halfway through like one of the videos, or like halfway through just like the set of videos, it just swaps to a different brush brand. I try to avoid that. But I do have the Squidmar brushes to test. I just like I said, it just keeps falling out of my brain. I know you rarely paint sub-assemblies, but would these be easier to paint that way? Um... Hmm. I don't know the answer to that question. And the reason why is I don't think painting in sub-assemblies is actually easy. I think it's just a difficult in a different way. And you might say to me, no, painting sub-assemblies is easier. That's the whole point. But it's easier for you. But it's this is easier for me to do it this way. You see what I mean? So we're gonna have a difference of opinion on that. So I can't really answer that question. If you're going to sub-assemble anyway, then the answer is yes. If you don't normally sub-assemble because you don't do it, then no, it's not going to make it easier to do it. Just do it the way you normally do it, you know what I mean? I don't find painting in sub-assemblies easy. I find painting sub-assemblies really difficult to do because I'm not in the business of drilling holes in things to mount it to pieces of metal. And I'm not in the business of retouching things up by painting it off with a sprue because I paint with contrast paints. And I'm not in the business of, that kind of thing. The most I do of a sub-assembly is I put a crew member on a different base with a bit of super glue. Usually. Because, to me, trying to paint a separate gun or hold a separate rider or do any of that kind of thing, I hate it. Because it's more difficult for me and the way I do things. So the answer is it easier to do this in sub-assemblies? For me, no. Much worse. Much, much worse. Hence why, if I have to do my old Riders of Rohan instead of new Riders of Rohan for Ardacon, I've already done all of the horses for the horses video. I won't be painting the riders separately. I will glue the riders on and then I will paint them on the painted horses. See what I mean? Can the rider be left off? Yes, the rider can be left off. His legs are not glued into the saddle. The legs are indeed separate. Hello, Chris. Plenty of Riders of Rohan that you could test them on. Test what on? Oh, the brushes. Well, I don't have the Riders of Rohan yet. They're still in transit. I placed an order for a bunch of Riders of Rohan. I needed 3 boxes. And then the place I ordered them from said, oh yeah, we don't actually have these. You can't have them. Bye. And I was like, great. What am I going to do? Because I didn't... This is the thing, is I didn't want to do... I didn't want to go to Ardacon having stress painted a bunch of old Riders of Rohan that I was immediately going to put into the bin, because that is just a complete waste of everybody's time, because they've got the new ones exist now. So painting the old ones is just like, you know, what's the point? It's like learning that, you know, be like learning that, you know, the tactical squads are going to go to Legends, and so what I'm going to do for my tournament that's next week is paint 60 tactical marines to just immediately put them in the bin once the codex comes out, you know. Still waiting on a tracking and update on those. Do we think they're lost? They're lost at sea. That, I mean, that would be typical, wouldn't it? After all that. But yes, name is long enough to be annoying. Was it incredible, and found 3 boxes of the Riders of Rohan, and has dispatched them to me because he's an absolute bloody legend. So we're now waiting to see when they're going to arrive. And I keep thinking about this. I'm going to make this joke now. Name is long enough to be annoying. So that you know this is a joke. I was going to say when they arrived, I was going to say 18 spears. Less than half of what I hoped. But I know what you're like, and if I text that to you, and then I miss your response... Another 18 are on the way. No. USPS taking international taking forever to get to the UK for no reason. It was the weekend, to be fair. They do often say business days, right? So like Sunday isn't a business day, and see, I knew it. Boop, 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 boop. Let's thin down some more Iron Warriors, because that's all we do these days. That's what my life is now. Just thinning down Iron Warriors endlessly. To paint endless silver on these endless ogres. I know I'm complaining a lot about it. I have really enjoyed actually painting these. It's just this bit is annoying. I don't... Painting metallics is always the worst part for me. Bow, bow, bow. And the fun part about this is we're going to have to wait ages for them to dry before we can do the next thing, which is to basically shade it all. I mean, we do have the brass to apply. That's the final job. When I say final job, what I mean is the final base coat is going to be some Balthazar gold. But we do have, specifically to these guys, the iron guts are very similar, but we do have to make some blackened metal as well. So really there's technically 2 layers, although one of them is a shade. But except it's a layer, it's a shading with some contrast paint. Which I guess you would call a layer. I always call it, we're going to shade it with this to make it really, you know, really, really dark. But I never know if that's the right language to use as I'm doing it. You can do the second 6 boxes for a Freya laugh. There are actually, like, hilariously, so I do have the new campaign book for the Burning of the Westfold, I think it's called, or something like that. I have the new Rohan campaign book that came out on Saturday, and in there's a bunch of really cool narrative scenarios, right? But the downside to them is the army list that it gives you with all of the Rohan stuff is like it's stuff like there's 36 riders of Rohan, and you go, okay, cool, yeah, that seems achievable. 30 of them have throwing spears. I'm like, what? That's not legal. You're not allowed to do that. I know they're just I think they're kind of recommended armies, but it's just, it's just that's funny. 12 car fires, each more fiery than the last, and that makes me sad for you, John. What? I'm lost, buddy. You're gonna have to explain that. Oh, I'm very, very warm right now. Ah. I see. I understand now. No. No. No, I don't. I don't like this bit. This bit is the downside of painting ogres, is having to do quite as much metallic painting as we do. Because it's so much. I'm excited to see what the... What's her name? Morga? I'm excited to see the scale of that one because it looks enormous. I wonder if it's as big as Gordrak. Because Gordrak's very big. Gordrak on his Maw Crusher. Have you tried the cool mats for pets? Stick one in the fridge, let it get cold, then transfer to your chair to sit on. I haven't tried that, no. I don't know how much that would help me, per se. Maybe it would help if you had one of those underneath a dry pallet, maybe. I feel like I would have to be sat here naked for that to be helping, and that's against terms of service and something I definitely am never going to do. For me, it's when, like, I know that I can't be up here anymore is when my ears get too hot. And I know it sounds really weird, but, like, when my ears feel really hot, I'm like, no, I can't handle it anymore. You know? I don't know if anybody else experiences this phenomenon, but maybe that's just me. It becomes like a sensory thing at that point, I think. For me, it's the feet. Yeah, for Al, it's the same. If the feet are cool, then I can tolerate a higher temperature. Yeah. So what happens is when we're like struggling away, I'll like put like an ice pack on by my next to my ear, and it makes life better. Right. So here we go. Look at that. So we've got all of the silver on both of these guys, and that's quite the undertaking, to be quite honest. There is 1, 2, and 3. No, 1 and 2 bits of Balthazar gold to apply there, and 1. Oh no, there is 3 on that one. There's 1, 2 on the 3 on this guy. Maybe there's another one on that one. No, there is actually a little hook in there which I haven't done, which we're going to just do quickly grab up. Don't want to forget that. Is 2 of them a whole unit? It is indeed. Did my first Warhammer Open, went 0-6 due to not having had enough time to play 11th. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you enjoy it at least? Can they be reinforced to 4? Yes, indeed they can. You're unlikely to do that, though, and I'll tell you why. Because a unit of Maulbeast Cavalry is 280 points. So, to have them reinforced is 560 points for 4 models. But yeah, these guys are 280. The gluttons, you get 10 of those, so 2 units of 5 in the box. So that's 280 plus 400, 680. You get some iron guts as well. They're 200. So that's 880. And you get a tyrant as well, which puts you on 930 points in total, because the tyrant is 150 points. So yeah, they are a very low model count army. Yes, I really enjoyed it. I think a lot of people were confused with the new rules. I think they should have let us know ahead of time the Open was going to be 11th. They sold tickets in 10th, etc. Ah, that's lame. Were you at Tacoma? Is that where you were, Jacob? The one that's just happened this weekend. Yes, it was at Tacoma Open. Right, yeah. How many times did you play the same mission over and over again? That's what I'm really curious about. Because I think a lot of people are leaning towards Purge the Foe as being your force disposition. The problem is because so many people are leaning towards Purge the Foe as being your force disposition. It means you're going to come up against Purge the Foe quite a lot, quite early on. So I've heard a lot of people being like, I went to my first one-day event this week, and I played Purge the Foe, Purge the Foe, Purge the Foe. I played the same mission 3 times in a row, for example. Half the games were Purge the Foe. Yeah, there you go. This I think is I think is the main challenge with Warhammer 40,000 at the moment. I think the force dispositions thing is a really good idea. The problem is you've got limited options when it comes to those matchups. So if everyone decides they're going to do, and that's the thing. I think it's disruption or something like that. One of the ones. It's one of the ones that's really, really good against Purge the Foe. There's one that's really good against Purge the Foe, and then the rest are pretty bad against Purge the Foe. But so many people are doing Purge the Foe that you're fighting Purge the Foe like 3 out of 6 games, 4 out of 6 games, 5 out of 6 games. It really felt like people were almost entirely ignoring that and trying to score secondaries and just cap objectives. Yeah, because they've changed, because you can just stack objectives now, can't you? You can stack secondaries. Once more detachments come out and people get used to the other mission types, I'm sure Purge won't be as dominant. That is my hope. I think a slightly better fix for it is more content. I think it's having, if you are Purge the Foe versus Purge the Foe, you then have these 3 missions that you play. That way you can play, or even if there was just another one, you know, and then you just say, like, in round 1 you play mission column A, and round 2 you play mission column B, etc., etc. You'd be swapping between the 2 different ones, because eventually one of them is going to rise to the top. There'll be something like, as much as like Games Workshop would hope somewhere like the Tacoma Open would be a premiere event, and it is a premiere event of Warhammer 40,000. It will be when something like Adepticon happens, right? And Adepticon is won by Richard Siegler using Take and Hold. Suddenly, a lot of people will use Take and Hold. And then you'll end up playing Take and Hold over and over again. You see what I mean? That is the interesting thing. And so I think maybe there just needs to be a second... Maybe, and it'll happen next year, because they'll do another Munitorum field manual, and they'll do another chapter approved, etc., etc., where they'll release a new deck, I'm sure, because that seems to be like the modus operandi, as it were. But if that is the case, and you keep the old deck viable, and you put in the new deck where you have more variation, I think it will make for a slightly more interesting experience. Because, like I said, I have heard from a lot of people that I talk to about going to this sort of thing, so many of the times they're like, yeah, I played Purge the Foe versus Purge the Foe 3 times in a row. You know? And it's just the same mission over and over again, which I think then just means it sterilizes the tournament a little bit. It's pretty funny having 40 beast snaggers with pain bosses leading them, sitting on the main center objective with hunter rigs tanking outside them. Orcs are doing very well at the moment, especially with Green Tide. That's the thing to do, isn't it? It's 100 orc boys. This is what Tom tells me. It's apparently very, very strong. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Black Templar to apply, Berserker Bloodshade to apply, we've got Coelia Greenshade to apply, we've got Targor Raidshade to apply, and we've got Balthazar Gold to apply, and that will take our Maulbeast Cavalry to Warhipster Battle Ready. However, it's 7:30, and that is traditionally the time when we end things. So we are hurtling towards the ending. Just before we go, I'm going to gift 5 memberships to the community. There we go. Check that out. Pow. Have 5 members, ladies and gentlemen. Jacob, there you go. Congratulations. You can have 5 memberships, and so we can do that. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today. We will be starting to plough the ogre content out. It's coming soon. At the moment in hand, if I remember correctly, we have... let me just go and check my list of things. We have the Aspiring Champion on horse. We have the Ogre Tyrant, the Iron Guts, the Gluttons, these guys. And we have the Rohan Commanders as well. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whole videos that there aren't enough days in the week to all put out. So it's all coming, but content's going to start sort of speeding up a bit, because now it's a bit cooler. It's a bit easier for me to actually be up here and do these things. We've also got the 2 shorts on how to do the Basing 4 Armageddon, so they're also going to start coming out very, very soon, because now we have the time and space to be able to do it, and we have the brain space to do it as well. But yes, hopefully I will be back on Wednesday. You dropped an ogre video today. That's now. This is the ogre video for today. I don't do a video and a stream on the same day, because if you do a video and a stream on the same day, it kills the video and no one will watch it, because YouTube doesn't push the notifications out to everybody. So you'd all have to remember that I've put a video out on a Monday, which is a day I don't put videos out anyway. You see what I mean? So there's no video tonight, and there's typically no video on a Wednesday, because normally we stream on a Wednesday, but we do sometimes put videos out on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays. So there is plenty of content coming very, 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 very soon. There will be a video tomorrow. It may well be an ogre video, so we've got to start getting it out. So maybe we'll put the Tyrant video out tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see how my day shakes out. And hopefully we'll be live on Wednesday. Maybe. We shall wait and see if anything comes up. Anyway, I am going to jump now, so I will see you all very, very soon in the next one. Hopefully on Wednesday. If not, next week for sure. And yeah, look forward to all that Ogre, Rohan, and Chaos painting tutorials on the way very, very soon. Bye. Love you, chat. You're the best.